Please don't call the cops, I'm a boss. You are lost, I got the sauce, you know it's hot. Call me Sean Evans. Only time you fucked was your 72 virgins in heaven, bitch.
Even if the ghosts are ruining the track, this shit's dire. Like X, even though I'm dead, I'm still releasing fire. For context, people, we played basketball and there was a little kid who was
kept trying to butt into our
wanting
game,
to play with us,
even though we would have absolutely schooled him.
And it was a real lesson in our total inability to communicate with people we don't know.
Because I don't want to just tell the kid to beat off, because then, well, not beat off. Hold on, cut. To beat it, to beat it. Because Alex, you were telling the story of when you did tell a kid to beat it one time, and then the father came and tried to confront you.
He just kept like getting in our way, and I just like looked at him and said, "Screw off!" Like,
yeah,
it was one of my very not proud moments. Like,
because I wanted
some little kid who just wanted to have fun.
But that's the thing. Like, I wanted to do that to the kid that was playing with us today, but I know I'm gonna feel bad about it later. Like, if I just tell this kid to fuck off.
It's one of my we won't go into
all
my
play the situation, but
all the things I'm ashamed of on this episode. But every episode will get another thing.
Yeah, of course.
The finale.
Yeah.
You know.
50th episode, we're going to get some breaking news, I'm sure.
Yeah. Charges may be pressed against me. This is the Rapcast. My name is Silly Willy, a.k.a. Coke Slime.
Coke Slime is
a.k.a. I was thinking we should just, my new like title cards should just be like insulting like adjectives that describe me, like, you know, Alex, Buddy Alex,
lethargic.
Yeah,
okay, all right,
untrustworthy.
I could do that. Yeah, just go through the dictionary. Just okay.
Yeah.
That is Alex. I am Andrew, aka Young Jizz. To my left,
Jay Pasty, Josh, PJ Martian.
Narcissist.
Your worst nightmare.
The Northman. Off the screen there a bit.
Yeah. First of all, 50-minute review of the movie The Northman.
Okay.
It was good.
We're gonna
the cinematography, the mythology.
We're gonna transition into our side podcast for what it is, though, which is our movie podcast. We're gonna talk about Northman for.
We're gonna be interviewing Robert Eggers. We're gonna be asking Robert Eggers what he thought of the new.
We're gonna crank call Robert Eggers right now because his number is public.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna call him up like he's a fucking Tim Hortons.
Yeah, and he could be researching a role for his next movie. Who knows?
Yeah, his next one where he hyper like researches what
Night Shift
Tim Hortons 2012 to 14 era was.
Yeah.
Someday I'm gonna make the perfect movie
before Tim Biebs, before all that shit.
One day in the far future, there's gonna be a period piece about our time period.
I know, it's weird to think that like all of our shitty fashion trends are gonna be remembered and appreciated by some fucking person like 30 years from now who's like, oh, I guess it's not that weird.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I saw an article the other day that was like, why the 90s was the last like period of actual culture, and I'm like, are you high?
There's just like, people trying to appeal to everyone that's into the 90s trends and all that shit, you know.
I think that's basically true. It froze after 1999.
Like, there's been culture, obviously, but there hasn't been... I mean, I guess, to me, like, 2000 to 2010, that's, like, a specific time period of specific culture. Like, I can look back at that and be like, oh, yeah, that was for sure.
Yeah, because 2010 is iPhones.
Which is then eliminated all,
and,
like, it's just a whole new thing.
But the idea of culture stopping after the 90s implies that we are still like living in 90s culture when we're not, obviously.
Yeah, like there obviously is culture. There's just not as like, maybe as defining one, but that's just because we're living in it, and you can't define it until 10 years later. We're gonna be like, oh yeah, the fucking 2010s to 2020s, that was crazy. Like,
yeah, I mean, they always try to neatly put everything into a decade when we all know that's not how time works.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Time is
subscribe to the Mayan calendar. Actually, we're not alive right now. We're not supposed to be. We're living on borrowed time. That's cool.
The universe is ever expanding.
Bro, dropping knowledge bombs early on the pod.
Every day we stray further from the light of God.
Speaking of straying away from the light of God, Coachella and everyone there.
The heathens.
There we go. Just like that 21 Pilots
all my
song.
Friends are heathens, take it slow.
That one's for Darren, aka Diaper Boy out there. Despises that song, if you're listening.
That's a great song to despise. But I like it.
But it was overplayed to all hell back in like 2015 or whatever. Like it was. Yeah,
that was
took home on the edge like crazy.
I think speaking of specific eras, there's gonna be a scene in a movie where they're at a bar. It's 2016 or something, and the soundtrack to the Suicide Squad movie is playing.
Yeah.
And they got that song.
Fucking.
And the Imagine Dragons one.
Yeah.
With
a bunch of rappers
Lil Wayne on it.
Yeah.
And there was one song. I saw like a random picture of like out of context rap stuff on Twitter of like a boat that has Skrillex, Rick Ross, and Jared Leto as the Joker on it. And shooting the video for the purple Lamborghini song.
Oh my god. I don't know. I don't even know if that existed until right now.
But,
is Jared Leto, so he's in the full Joker fit for the video? Is he doing the rap hands and shit? He's like hyping Rick Ross up? We should watch that after.
Yeah, and Skrillex is wearing one of those long shirts that's like a half dress.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Shout out Skrillex.
Love it. Apparently Skrillex had a mansion just 20 minutes north of here at one point. I don't know if he still had it. Maybe it was Deadmau5. It was one of the
Special
two.
Rapcast segment where we try to find his mansion.
I'm pretty sure it was Deadmau5 because Deadmau5 is Canadian. So.
Yeah, that's right. I remember you telling me that. So yeah, it could have been Deadmau5.
Then again, who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a Christian podcast.
Which we will talk about Kanye.
Everyone
Christian
will
artist
eventually
later,
turn.
But...
Every knee shall bow, and every heart shall sing. And the Lord... No, but seriously, Coachella is from the devil because they rescinded... Actually, no, I think it was Kanye that dropped out of...
He dropped out. And
or
then...
was it Coachella?
Yeah, it was supposed to be... And then... Or Weekend then... Or no, was it something else? I don't know.
Who dropped out of who?
I don't know.
I forget.
I don't know.
We should know these things, but we don't.
We won't. It's all right.
They replaced him with The Weeknd.
And The Weeknd was saying that he's not going to play unless he gets Kanye money. So I don't even know if that happened or if that's for... Maybe is that for Oceaga or something? Like one or the other? Lollapalooza or something? I don't know. They all blend in my mind. Festivals are all kind of the same to me. But this one had a few highlights from it.
So does The Weeknd getting the Kanye replacement mean that he's no longer blackballed by the industry? Or is it just the Grammys that don't like
I think it's mainly the Grammys, but I think because maybe he wasn't getting paid a lot, so that's why he demanded Kanye money. I think Kanye was going to get a bag to perform there. Maybe Weeknd wasn't going to get as much because he is still kind of blackballed in a way. I don't know. But I don't even know if that was Coachella, so we might be talking out of our ass here.
I do have an article here.
Well, I want to get the big ones out of the way that we care about here, at least a few of us.
We'll do a thing we care about.
And then we'll do random shit. Brockhampton, from their last 2 shows ever, choose to believe that if you will.
I did not manage to watch it. I think it was...
I watched the first one.
When was it even on? It was only a Sunday?
It was last weekend, the most recent one, and then the one before that. I watched the first week.
If it was on a Sunday, I was working, so sorry.
I saw clips of it.
I watched the first one. It was pretty good. It was good energy, but they were only on for 45 minutes because they're not headlining or whatever, right? The big thing on that show was that they announced they had a little video playing at the end where Kevin's talking to them about an album that he curated, a group album that's going to come out this year. So we're going to get one last Brockhampton album after everyone thought they were completely done. Who knows what it's going to consist of? If it's going to be just Lucy's here and there, is it a proper group album? Who knows? We know nothing about it really. But I'm all here for it. I'll take that shit any day of the week. Red Runner was in my top 5 last year.
One last hurrah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it would be kind of sick if we do just get a bunch of Lucy's from the Puppy era that we didn't. I mean, that's the thing though. Do you put a mirror on those? I wouldn't think they would. But if this is their last album, just getting it all out there, who's to say?
I think it would damage their solo careers too much if they put a mirror back on. You know what I mean? They still got solo careers to look after.
Yeah, because Dom put
Dom put out a thing.
Cool snippet.
A really cool streaming platform thing. I'm not sure what it is yet, but
I just saw the video on his Instagram of a song snippet. It sounded hard as hell.
Yeah,
on some different production. That's the main thing that I love the Brockhampton production. I think Romil could be a really good producer for other artists. Same with Jabari and shit, but it'll be refreshing to hear the individual artists over different production, like Merlin on that Psych track or SYK track. was on different productions. Dom shit's on like some Alchemist type of production. And Kevin Abstract is going to kind of be, I think, always have that kind of Brockhampton-y production to an extent. I don't know if him and Ro Miller are going to stop working together at any point, but who knows. Yet to hear from the rest of them, but yeah, I mean, I'm also anticipating a solo career, but
that video was kind of funny because it was like Kevin Abstract is like Tony Stark, like bringing the Avengers back together.
Civil War.
Look, guys, I know we already decided the world no longer has a purpose for Brockhampton, but like then he suddenly, he had some kind of Miller High Life.
Cheers to the high life.
Yeah. The point is, Kevin Abstract just kind of assembled the A team and like was like, look, I know we all decided it was over, but like, fuck it, I had this crazy idea. Let's just do one more. Yeah. And they seem to be going with it.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll actually ever get the full story behind it. That could have just been like a fake, because they had that whole series on YouTube that I forgot about, like Behind the Band or whatever. It was a whole like fake drama thing. Yeah, so who knows, right?
Well, like that was clearly a bit like.
Obviously, but. I don't know, it could be that same realm, but on the same day of the Brockhampton shit, 100 Gex was cut short, kicked off. 100 Gex, I said. Oh, maybe I said 100 Gex, who knows? They got kicked off the stage. 100 Gex was. Yeah, we'll see.
Why?
I don't know. They just got like during Money Machine, like their biggest, or at least to me, their best song, one of their only good songs, and they were just cut off short, and they had to leave.
I read an article about it, and apparently they showed up late. And,
so it was just
Coachella is really strict with their schedule, and they will just yank somebody straight off the stage.
That's fair, I suppose.
So you thought you guys were huge, but
apparently not. No one's untouchable. Do you think there would be like Kanye could go overtime, right? Like, is there a level of success that you won't get yanked anymore at festivals?
I don't know. We should have got an expert on festivals.
Yeah, I was gonna say because festivals aren't really
I've never been to one really.
Well, we've been to Sound of Music Festival, but that's like a small ass thing in our hometown.
One where people would travel.
No, and I went to a few out in Brantford or whatever, but not actual big Rolling Loud, Coachella, Lollapalooza. I haven't been to anything like that, and I don't think I would like it that much. Just I heard stories from my roommates. They went to Osheaga 2 or 3 years in a row. And they would just, this is back when we were, 21 or whatever. And they would just, start drinking. They would wake up, start drinking at, 10 a.m., already be blasted on the fucking subway on the way there. And then they would party all fucking day at these shows, do Molly and smoke weed and drink all fucking day.
Yeah.
And come back and then get, 2-3 hours of sleep at their shitty hotel. And then they would do it all over again the next day and still have, I just don't have the energy. And I can't even say, I had that energy when I was younger. I don't think I could have done that even when I was in my prime of just fucking going crazy like that.
You're still pretty young, though.
23, yeah. I mean, I could maybe pull it off.
But we're all old people.
My back.
Old souls. I wouldn't
be able to... we made Old Lady Ice for a reason.
Yeah.
We're bummy out here.
But I don't know. Rapcast at Rolling Loud Toronto?
I think... We could
you
go
guys
at least one of the days.
You guys want to start funding this? The guy that's... So shout out that one guy?
We could just make a GoFundMe of fucking... fund us to go to fucking Rolling Loud and see if we make any money.
Problem is I can't beg for money. I have too much...
I'll set up the whole thing. It's alright. We don't have to... You don't have to promote it.
But also, please like and subscribe, and please tell your friends, and please, 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 please give me attention.
We'll give you anything you want.
You can hang out with us.
No. Why they offer up my time?
For other things that happened at Coachella.
Yeah.
Harry Styles brought out his BFF, Lizzo. So, kind of a surprise moment there.
I heard there was because Harry Styles is dating Olivia Rodrigo. Not Olivia Rodrigo, Olivia Wilde.
Oh, yeah, because isn't she, she's way younger than him?
But apparently she was engaged to Jason Sudeikis, which I, didn't know or forgot or something.
Which is...
And apparently there was a thing where, the divorce papers for them or whatever, got filed, while she was on stage with him or some shit. I just saw that headline. I didn't go into it. That could be way off base. But I'm like, damn, Jason, that's fucking...
And this really hits home for you as the number one...
Ted Lasso fan.
Ted Lasso
And I realized as well while we were watching Simpsons earlier, I'm like, oh, Ted Lasso is just Ned Flanders because he has the same mustache and like an accent. Like, yeah, no, it's just Ned Flanders, just a uber good guy. And I prefer Ned Flanders as a character, but anyway.
I was mad jealous of as an Olivia Wilde stan. I've been mad jealous of Jason Sudeikis for a minute now, and now my jealousy has to shift. Harry Styles. I'll be honest.
He got you beat, though. Harry Styles got you beat. Jason Sudeikis, you can make a case for, but
like we don't usually talk about what our taste in men, but Harry Styles to me is just ugly, and gross.
He's like his hair, I guess.
Certain British guys they have that weird fucked upness that like some women are really attracted to, but like I find it really slimy and gross.
That's fair. I don't know. I don't think he's unattractive, but
just the point is, I'm Team Zayn.
Coming from a British guy. Oh, I see.
And yeah, it's weird how those are the only two One Direction guys. But even Zayn not really around anymore. I think he kind of had his.
No one's heard of him.
His moment
for a long while.
His dick than some fucking morbidly obese man. You know what I mean? Like,
huh?
He's not bad.
We ain't talking about sucking dicks. We're just talking about who's cute.
Yeah, that implies it.
No.
If you call anybody cute, that means you want to give them oral sex. Don't you know that?
Damn.
I forgot the rules.
Life lessons from Jay Paste.
Disclaimer, I am merely joking.
Alright, what else happened at Coachella that's worthwhile? Isaiah Rashad came back. That was pretty interesting.
Billie Eilish sang Misery Business.
Whoa, never mind. That's way bigger news, man.
Let's do our Billie Eilish impressions.
I'm not going to be doing that at all. That's going to be a solo bit, I believe. All I have to do is whisper ASMR into the mic.
I'm sad. I'm lonely. I'm horny. I'm like 18 years old, and I'm
yeah. That's my Billie Eilish freestyle.
Honestly,
I'm sorry to do that right in your ears too, Josh. He's got that.
You gotta edit that where you turn that into a whole 3-minute song. I'm horny.
I'm sad. Production on it.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I'm lonely. I'm horny. I'm like 18 years old. I'm sad. I'm lonely. I'm horny. I'm like 18 years old. Sad. I'm lonely. I'm horny. I'm like 18 years old. Sad. I'm lonely. I'm horny. I'm like 18 years old.
But yeah, they were playing a Billie Eilish song on the radio at work, and I was like, the one where it's like, I have no idea how it goes, but it's just like really dramatic, oh, it's real quiet. I don't like the way she sings.
Yeah, no, I mean it's too breathy.
It's too theater.
I like theater. I like singers with breathy voices like Fouché or whatever. But it's just like she's I don't know. Yeah,
she's white. That's the problem. That's my problem with her.
Okay, there you go then. Case closed.
Somebody named Conan Gray. You know who that is?
Oh, I've heard of him. He's like a shitty singer, a pop guy.
Whatever. Yeah, The Weeknd.
Oh, so it probably was Coachella.
The Weeknd killed it.
Okay.
And him and fucking Snow Mafia or whatever, Swedish Mafia.
Swedish House Mafia. Yeah.
Yeah, Coachella. I don't even know.
Had to be there, guys.
Where do they have it?
That's LA. Yeah. Lollapalooza is the one that moves around. I guess
do you have the set list for the?
Loud. Yeah. Got Rolling Loud shit right here. Okay, Friday, day 1, 3 days. Toronto, Ontario Place. So the Ontario Place. Isn't that the abandoned fucking? Didn't they get rid of that shit? Or is it
Didn't they turn that into a?
I don't know.
Prostitution ring.
September 9th to 11th. Okay, guys. Wow. Really? All right.
Wow.
Headliner on Friday, Dave, who's a British rapper. It's interesting to see him first name
Dave
there.
headlining.
Because you get Lil Uzi Vert right after that. A Boogie with the Hoodie.
Are we sure it's not Dave, the character from the Lil Dicky
show? That would be crazy. I'd go to see that.
So far, I don't really want to go to this show.
Yeah, first one, I don't really... Yeah, this doesn't really interest me. Ray Shremmerd, sure, whatever. Roy Woods, Central C, Bia. We can get to London. Bounce around to the London song. Maybe J. Cole. Maybe bring out J. Cole.
I go to the jewelry just to get on my bodega.
Little Skies. Night Lavelle. Smiley. Okay, Smiley's first day.
Yeah.
Might have to go for Smiley. It seems like some other Toronto artists.
Miley X Smiley. Now that's a collab.
There we go.
We want to see.
All right, Saturday's a day for me. I think you got Future, you got Roddy Ricch, you got Skepta, Trippie Redd, Ski Mask the Slump God, Lil Yachty. I think that's pretty good.
Holy shit, yeah.
Pretty good day there. Pressa, Oliver Tree, Snot. That's gonna be a sick show as well.
Avoiding the Oliver Tree show with all my.
And Ellie Chapo. We can talk to him about So your tweets of shitting.
Man, I want to go to the NLE Choppa one and just interview the crowd about
we should. That would be sick.
About like talking about the third eye.
Because we'll seriously go to the Ski Mask and Little Yachty shows and the Future one maybe, but other ones we could just fuck around and if we were to actually go. Yeah, anticipate on the street bits at some point potentially.
I mean, September 11th, we could do it. I mean, I do have to go to that memorial service, but
that's true.
Fuck it, man. It's been long enough. We can forget.
Yeah, let's forget this year. Let's all choose to collectively forget this year, guys. Let's just skip it. Let's just skip it. What's wrong with taking a leap year, a gap year?
There are other tragedies we could be focusing on.
Exactly.
Remember the Boston bombing?
Exactly. Remember when I didn't get that promotion at work? Let's celebrate that this year.
Remember when I almost got fired for being high?
Jazz Cartier as well was on that one. Casey, the Kanye singer. Danny Towers, the deep voice motherfucker.
That's his name?
Yeah. I think that's it for Saturday that I recognize. Sunday is WizKid. I don't really give a shit. Migos is also a Sunday. That would be kind of sick. Got Nav on Sunday. Suicide Boys. Little TJ, Little Tekka, Belly, Sheck West, 5 Foreign.
Wow.
Puya. Killy.
So how do they jam all this? These are hour-long sets or something?
No, a lot of them are going to be, a lot of the lower list ones are going to be probably 30 minutes. Because Brockhampton was a pretty big band, at least to an extent. It was 45 minutes, and the main sets get an hour and a half kind of thing. Yeah. And they're all going to be, there's going to be certain shit playing at the same time at different stages. They're going to have different stages and stuff. So if say Snot and Lil Yachty are performing at the same time on different stages, we'll have to choose which one to go.
That's why it's kind of weird for Brockhampton to do their last show at Coachella, because it's a huge stage for them, but
the crowd isn't necessarily there to see them, they're probably waiting for Billie Eilish or whoever the fuck played,
So that's why they streaming it live was a good move though, so that the core fans can see it. But
yeah, it is kind of sad they didn't.
If they're gonna do this whole ass new album, they're just never going to perform any of those songs live together.
Guess, yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
I could see them potentially doing a few shows.
Yeah.
After, who knows?
Depends on where they're. Speaking of rappers, not retiring. Let's talk about Logic. I just want to get this one out of the way because I really don't give a fuck.
Okay. Logic is back again. I feel like I've said that 7 times in this podcast.
This whole podcast has been a running joke. Run the tape.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back. Yo, this new Logic I though. Logic again, coming in and out of retirement. I'll talk about Logic for a second. What were we talking about before? Logic?
I'm just gonna force you to keep doing
oh man, give me
run
fucking
the
work
tape
to do.
bits,
God damn it!
Where you're just scouring through old episodes.
Man, it's so annoying too because I don't have any of the episodes anymore, so I have to rip them all off YouTube in shittier quality and fucking because takes up too much space on my hard drive. Logic comes back with two-pack, if you will, even though he had a video dissing Def Jam because he was like, man, you guys fucked me with my release. Instead of putting it as a 2-pack, you put just each out as a separate single. You told me not to drop the video early. I still dropped it because fuck you guys. Even though in the video he's rocking a Def Jam hoodie and he's up in the building and shit. I guess he's throwing paint in the Tetris video, which is the better of the 2 songs. He's just throwing papers around in the CEO's office. It would have been interesting if he took a piss in the office. Maybe that would have been pretty good content. But the video the video is kind of just a rap video, him doing rap hands, walking around the streets and stuff. But I think the beat's pretty fire. His bars aren't too corny. I'll take this one as a win, as a Logic fan. Next song, Decades, is pretty bad. Weird kind of beat switches. The chorus is too long. It's not a good chorus. Verse is okay, but that one I'll pass. But that's kind of how Logic is.
These rappers just can't stay retired. They have to come back. I mean, the Tetris song was kind of fun. It is kind of funny. You just pointed out how lame that is to go off on your label, and then in the video you're wearing the Def Jam sweater.
It's not quite. It doesn't quite hit. Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of a representation of, to me, in terms of that right there. In terms of like his album, he's like, I'm retiring, and then he comes right back. Like he's kind of just, like seems like a little bit of a hypocrite almost, like to some extent. And also, one song being good and one song being bad, to me, that's also just kind of Logic's career at this point. Like you're gonna get as many good songs as bad songs. Like that's kind of just how it goes at this point.
My one note is Rubik's Cubes and Crypto.
Yeah. Classic Logic right there.
In the video, he's walking down the hall solving a Rubik's Cube as he's rapping.
Yeah.
Man, I just don't... Sorry, I don't like Logic. Like
hey, man, that's fucking fine. Like, yeah, I don't expect everyone to like Logic.
But, I mean,
he's
it's
a
not
very
that
divisive
bad.
artist.
I liked a couple of his bars. Like, you know, he had one about...
Staying connected to the block.
Other rappers are afraid of me, like they're in the dark or some shit.
Yeah, afraid of the dark. Yeah, no, there was some bars. I was like, okay, he's going a little bit, but there's also
kind of good at like describing like how he's comic book style. Like I'm a villain who's
it's
doing
just
this,
to,
and
like I don't go to Logic for the lyrical shit, even though that's what kind of people painted him as for a long time. Like I used to also be naive when I was only into Gambino, Chance, and like Logic and shit. I was like, yeah, Logic is like top 3 lyricists. Like, no, he was never that crazy of a lyricist. He's just a rapper. He's just a good rapper to me. Like he raps fast and it's coherent and it's not always corny. I'm like, all right, and the beats are always great. Like Logic production, I think, has never really faltered on any album. I think, except for like the Rock album he did. That was pretty bad. But
wait, so the Rock album came out after the Under Pressure thing, or was that before?
The No Pressure was the...
Or No Pressure,
yeah. No Pressure was his last one, and then since then he's dropped the Dr. D fucking the Space one.
Oh, yeah.
Mixtape. And then... Did he drop another one? He dropped Barbie Tarantino 3 was the other one he dropped since then.
Right, so...
But he's been teasing ever since, and he has a new album, Vinyl Days, coming out June. And apparently there's some crazy...
I remember us talking on this pod about how, like, oh, I'm glad that No Pressure was a decent album, that he could kind of go off on a good note. And
I still think No Pressure is great, but it does kind of... I don't really revisit it that much, because it does kind of leave a bad taste in my mouth, just because, like...
What was it for? It was all for naught.
Yeah, I'm like, and if you're capable of making this type of music and then not retiring... Like, at first I was like, oh, maybe it's so good because it was his last one and he is actually ending, and it's like... He had to really get it back to do it. But now that I know he's capable of albums like No Pressure and he's dropping mid, I'm like, man, just do that again. Like it took you like 2 years to make it, probably.
Suck,
like,
bro.
Yeah.
Is that so hard?
Well, this is kind of one of the things I want to get into with when we talk about Push is how like, as a rapper, when you're doing all this autobiographical stuff and sharing how your life is changing with as you progress and stuff like this. Mm-hmm. There's people who have more of a talent for telling the story of their own life, and then there's people who...
interesting way to do it, for
There's people who, they kind of, like, Logic fans are mostly like, his early stuff is really great, though, and then he kind of, because he was more getting into his backstory of him being closer to, like... Mm-hmm. Things that happened in his past and stuff, and then once he got to his... It's a
thing that Cole has talked about in the Heaven's EP song, and many people have talked about, of just running out of shit to talk about and being kind of afraid of that. And Logic for a while, I think, did. And it's still kind of hard. Like, him and Chance, too, to an extent. Like, I think they both kind of...
But I think Pusha T is really good at coming back every couple of years and giving you an update and giving you more perspective on his life, and in a way that doesn't feel like... oh, here I am again.
That's the thing as well, like, Logic and Chance became family men, and then their music suffered. And Push and J. Cole became family men, and they're still making great... There's a way to do it, and not everyone is able to do it as good or take some time to figure out.
We'll see what the next full-length J. Cole album is. I feel like that will be really key to... If it's good or not, him being really solidified as...
it's called The Fall Off. He's been saying it for a while, but then he wrote a thing a few years ago being like, this is the rest of his career, and then he's going to retire. Just talked about that. Yeah. But it was the off season, and then It's a Boy, whatever that is, album mixtape, I don't know. And then it was the Fall Off. So maybe we'll get It's a Boy next year or something like that. Or maybe we won't get it at all, and the off season kind of lit a fire under his ass, and he wants to keep rapping and is going to do something different, and I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we'll get into Push in a bit. Do you want to talk about Kanye for a sec?
We could do a quick talk about Donda 2.
Okay, so it's far past due. It's been like 2 months, I think, since the original show.
Yeah, okay, here's what I'll say as a Kanye stan.
Okay. See the defense here.
Cooking up my justifications. Yeah, this is probably one of the... I mean, Kanye's already given us 10 great albums. I don't need anything more from him.
Great is... there's 10 great ones, but yeah.
But Donda 2 is sloppy. It's and it's kind of all over the place and seems very thrown together.
Yeah.
I would say it's Kanye's first improv album.
Yeah.
Where a lot of it seems like he's really...
Well, a lot of the verses just aren't verses.
They're just not really finished.
They're reference tracks, like...
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, that's okay for a leak.
It's not finished.
Yeah, that's okay for, like, a thing that you leak and stuff, and I guess, like, with a stem player, like, it's not accessible to everyone. I'm like, okay, I don't take it as seriously as an album. I kind of just consider it an experiment and shit. But if it was on streaming, and if he released this to the public and did a whole promo for it, I would have been like, what? Like, this is terrible. Like, I would have been like, man, like, why? I feel like the only reason why I don't hate it is because it's not, like, an official release, and it seems like he kind of backed off of that whole project, at least to an extent, and apparently he's like, just chilling in Barbados or something right now, and he's just like kind of
the stem player thing was him trying to expand into like the tech world,
which is fair.
Kind
like, I don't knock him on that because streaming prices are ridiculous. Like, I would really love some sort of a change in terms of how that whole thing works, and I commend Kanye for trying that.
I'm
it's
okay
just
with
also unrealistic charging for $250.
I'm okay with paying an artist directly if I know it's going straight to them and not to, like,
fair.
Because I get so much enjoyment out of this stuff, and I get literally it's all free pretty much. So
yeah,
I can't really get mad at the stem player thing.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta love Bandcamp and things like that, especially Bandcamp Fridays and things like that, where all the proceeds go to the artist directly and stuff like that.
For sure.
Like, there's platforms for it, but like it's few and far between.
Yeah, I think I've gotten like a cool $7 off a bank.
Yeah,
a Bandcamp people's giving me money.
But what I really enjoyed was the 2/22/22 performance, and just watching that live, watching it unfold, and just like the fucking movie-like quality of
there were some cool
stage.
Visuals. I liked how he was like in water the whole time, just in like the rubber boots, like the
because it kind of made the whole boots thing make sense, like of how he's trying to bring back this like leather kind of. He's doing like Michael Jackson bad style.
Yeah,
like
there's some layers, I suppose, but in terms of
Kanye's in his emo phase, he's in his emo Christian.
I don't know if he's collabing with
billionaire.
MGK anytime soon.
No, but there is an emo feel to the whole Donda era.
Yeah, because of the whole divorce shit and kind of rebellion and just divorce, kind of like punk kind of energy.
Dealing with his mother's death as a theme.
But bro, okay, I might sound insensitive here. He's been dealing with his mother's death for what, like 10+ years?
Yeah, but it was never really dealt with properly in the music.
I suppose, yeah.
Because it happened while he was in such a busy time. And this is one thing that you'll get into when you watch the third part of the Kanye doc as well, is how he went into a different mode after his mom died, where he was like playing a character.
Yeah, doesn't really know who, and that's I feel like that's a lot.
Him losing his own persona and trying to refigure things out. This is part of the whole show of Kanye. Like,
I linked that as well to a lyric from Gambino's last album where he's talking about his father's death, and he was like something about like I don't know who I am without you kind of thing. Like, where like, okay, I can see obviously death of a parent is a huge thing, and I can see that completely changing someone. Like, I can for sure understand that. And I do get that, he hasn't really talked about it in the music that much, but even on the album that's called Donda, named after his mother, it's not like he had, like, it's not like every song was about her, Like, there were some songs that had nothing to do with her, which, like, isn't a bad thing. It's a long album kind of thing.
But it was a theme, and it was, I mean, it being called Donda.
Yeah. But on Donda 2, I don't think there's any sort of, like, I don't, like...
No, it's not really about that at all. But
that's why I was kind of disappointed.
Well, it's more about his
Kanye
divorce.
Making that, But that's why I was disappointed with Kanye making that decision to name it Donda 2, which I think I expressed on a podcast at one point. Like, something a sequel to an album about your mom is kind of.
But that's why I kind of like this. I liked my first impressions of it just off of the live show, watching it.
That's a whole different spectacle.
And people like showing up and giving a verse, like Migos and like Jack Harlow shows up for a song and.
But that's the thing.
Then the technical difficulties happened, and you couldn't really hear. Yeah. And it was kind of fun to watch him like throw the mic in the ground and be like, man.
But speaking as a Kanye fan who didn't watch the entire... I watched like maybe 6 or so songs. I didn't watch the entire performance, and the 2 times that I heard the whole album all the way through was just without the visuals.
Yeah.
And with that, it's not a great listen, really. Like, there's some highlights that I'm like, oh, if some of these ideas were fleshed out, they could be really good. The one with the song with Migos and Baby Keem, well, it doesn't sound like quite a Kanye song, so it's almost more like a Migos song. If that one was out, like, that would be a hit. Like, that's a crazy song. It sounds done to me. Like, that sounds like a done song. Like, there's 2 or 3 here that sound like almost done songs. But mixing and mastering is a whole other issue as well.
Like, stylistically, he does go into a different... It's kind of like leftover beats from the Donda album that were, like, a little bit more... There's something a little bit more Yeezus-y or, like, dark and foreboding about this going
also
on.
Less gospel-infused.
And it's more Future executive produced the album, and it's more... He does some flows on this, but where he's mumbling, and he does not really saying that much. But in that flow, it's like, oh, he could have really written that one out. He could have got Sci-Hi the Prince to help him with that
exactly.
shit. So it's kind of disappointing in a way, but that's why I consider it to be an improv album. It was for kind of like a one-time event performance thing.
Once again, capping for Kanye, but go off.
Yeah, no, but I mean, if you're really ranking it seriously as a piece of art
and music
against other things, it's definitely a 6 out of 10 or set. And that's even
that's generous. It's like a 4 or something to me.
Well, I like this. I like the beat of a couple of the songs at the beginning, but it doesn't really start off.
Yeah, like
strong.
The beats are okay, but like
I like Security as just a straight up bipolar. Violent kind of song.
Yeah, it could be good if it had some real verses.
Security at risk.
It's an interesting beat, but it's not all there as an idea.
I mean, just because it's not fleshed out lyrically, like that doesn't make it not a song
or not worthwhile either. But...
Because I like how it captures his like reckless violence towards Pete Davidson and his family getting ripped apart or whatever.
But it just makes
as an expression of that. And I love the production of it. It's very like Death Grips kind of style.
But also like, I go into this being like, I'm just always left. Even if the idea is good, I'm like, well, I wish it was a full song though. Like I'm always gonna feel like I'm always gonna kind of feel that way if it's still like a half-assed song.
Yeah, the difference is I kind of accept what a Kanye thing is and rank it but yeah, I maybe this is coming off as a fanboy.
What do you think about the one with Jack Harlow?
We Did It Kid is a pretty decent song.
One? Oh, We Did It Kid. No, that was the one I was talking about. Yeah, with Migos and Key. The Louis Bag song.
I thought Pablo was actually a pretty great song. That was the one with Travis Scott, where I thought that one was like kind of the better version of
Praise God or whatever that one is.
Yeah. Still, there was a lacking really of Kanye's lyrics on that.
I prefer Praise God, even if Baby Keem's verse is kind of mid, but the Future verse here is kind of mid. Chorus, I think, is just Kanye mumbling shit.
I like Future's verse.
It's kind of mid to me.
I do not really like the Louis Bag song.
I was going to say.
Yeah, and then Jack Harlow just kind of comes on it. It's very, very like they threw it together in 10 minutes.
He's talking about like, I'm my cousin's favorite cousin. Like, okay, come with something better.
And
if you're going to be on a Kanye song, man.
It's all because he tweeted about how...
he's top 5 now rapper right now or some shit.
Just from the Nail Tech song that Jack Harlow put out, which was not even that good.
No, and neither is the new one. It's actually quite bad. Fucking one.
And it's a big hit for some reason.
Yeah, and it's huge. It's because white girls like it because they think he's cute. That's all it is. But he had a song that leaked with...
I think it's also because which girls appreciate the...
more trash music?
The Black Eyed Peas flip
true as well.
Of the First Class.
Just his verses are just so mid on it, even if it's like an interesting beat and a good sample. Like, and he had a song that leaked recently with Drake, and Drake actually that's a really good Drake verse. But Kanye, what? But Jack Harlow just gives just another mid verse. Like you figure if you're gonna be on songs with superstars here, you're gonna want to really go in all. But I don't think.
Apparently, Drake is doing subliminal shots at Pusha T on the new Jack Harlow.
Yeah,
so the new Jack Harlow album on the way.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
We'll see if we do a Jack Harlow style freestyle where we. I'm my cousin's favorite cousin.
I'm a pass. Pass.
We don't have not done enough
I'm
research.
saving my freestyle juices for the one we do later.
Yeah.
One last thing I'll say about Donda 2. Can we stop with the XX features at this point? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them on here. Let's cut it out.
I like the song "Happy." Do I look happy?
I like that part.
That one he has more of a flow.
Yeah.
And I like Future's part as well. I think Future goes off, actually.
I think one of the Future songs is going to be on the new Future album that's dropping tonight. It is Thursday the 27th 28th as we're doing this, by the way.
Sci-Fi is one of those ones where he just literally had one idea. Welcome to the Sci-Fi. Yeah. Make a choice.
Oxygen or Wi-Fi. And he just ran with it, yeah.
Which is the most like Elon Musk bar I've ever heard in my life.
And we're not going to talk about...
Elon got invited to the Donda 2 performance thing.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about him buying Twitter. Let's just...
we already talked about it on the last episode.
That's true.
Anyway. The rest of it is, not that good. Donda 2 is a little bit of a E, but I also have it does not shake my confidence that Kanye can still give us another great album.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're also, he did this kind of similar thing with Yandhi. Like, there's pretty much a whole Yandhi album out there, but it's not as official for Kanye because he used a bunch of Yandhi ideas for Donda, which I'm not mad at if he takes some of the best ideas off here and then use them for his next project. I'm not mad at that. But it's just the fact that he kind of semi-released this album that makes me a little more critical to it than versus Yandhi, because that's more of like a fan-made kind of thing.
Yeah, it felt like more of a stunt. A publicity stunt.
Which, I'm not mad at his motivations, but speaking as a music standpoint, I don't think it's very good.
It's not going to end up on any list.
Yeah, I'm not even going to put it in my end-of-the-year album ranking. Like, I just because it's not really official to me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I will. Who knows? But it won't make my top 10, so it doesn't really matter.
We should probably get into some rap casting. I kind of want to... Maybe let's start off with Vince, because you can kind of lead the way, because I try to be good. Like, I try to be a good little boy. Listen to my albums.
Listen to the little homework I gave you that I assigned you.
My ears literally rejected this new Vince Staples album. Like, I tried to listen to it, and it just
came in
went into my background. It's
interesting.
I was so bored by it.
Really? Because to me, it's almost the same kind of thing as Self-Titled in a way in terms of his sleepy delivery and stuff. It's just a bit poppier. He's doing it on kind of more safe kind of production, like Kenny Beats is not out there, but like it was a whole Kenny Beats project. So this one he's kind of
Vince Staples'
popular direction.
Self-Titled had a real feel to it, and it had... I guess I was really drawn in by the singles that came out before it, and like... I was hyped to listen to it, and I was definitely thrown a little bit by how low effort or low key it was. That was the whole episode title.
Because to me...
But it ended up being one of my favorites.
Yeah. It was the top 3 or something for you last year.
Which maybe it was a bit of a high ranking if I was to rethink it, but it's set in stone now, so...
Can't change your opinions or else we're executed on the podcast.
We should do that. Live executions on the pod.
Shout out in the comments if you want to see that. But to me, I kind of think that the direction it's going, maybe with you, at least I'm hoping, because when I first heard the Vince Staples album last year, the Self-Titled one, the first like 3 or 4 times I listened to it, I was like, this is just kind of boring to me. It didn't click.
That's another thing.
And eventually it clicked.
I should have listened to it a couple more times, but I just...
And because Pusha came out and you're a much bigger Pusha guy.
I just got really into Pusha.
That's
and,
fair.
When I tried to listen to that, it was just like, oh.
I guess in comparison, it might not be as interesting. Yeah. But to me, I think I like Ramona Park, Broke My Heart. Off rip, it might be recency bias more than Self-Titled, because I liked Self-Titled. It was top 10 last year for me. But to me, it's just more of the same, and there's a lot of great tracks on here. It's more to love. Kind of like how you thought about Lamb Over Rice, Action Bronson versus our album of the day here, Only for Dolphins, how it's kind of just more of the same and more to it. There are more misses, though, on this one. Like, Self-Titled is pretty much good all the way through. But Ramona Park it has a few duds. Like, the song DJ Quick is just a boring one.
One of my only notes that I have is that one is... I just wrote I have a little yawning emoji right next to it.
That one's boring. And so is the one with Little Baby. I'm getting a lot of praise for that one.
DJ Quick also, he says, if it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense. And it's just like...
We've heard it.
Certain cliches are just over cliched.
Like if he flipped it in a certain way, then sure.
Even my phone is pissed at that.
Yeah, the one with Little Baby as well. Just like a boring Vince verse and Little Baby with a boring verse that he usually gives as well.
Little Baby rapping 2.5% slower than normal.
Yeah, it's just
to try to match Vince Staples' absolutely catatonic delivery.
It's like if he like
I don't even think I used the word catatonic correctly there.
But I get your energy though. I get where you're coming from. Like I think lyrically it's not a bad verse, but just the delivery. If he had more energy, and if Little Baby had more energy, I think it could be a good song. But I don't think the beat does it justice at all either.
I try to justify aesthetic choices of being low key but it just came off like it's good background music.
I think that one is, but then there's other ones that are like do go hard as hell though.
What are some of your standouts?
Standouts A, Free the Homies. I think that's a great one.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that one.
I think Magic is like probably top 10 songs of the year. It's catchy as fuck to me. The beat is great.
Yeah.
His inflections on it are great. His kind of sing-songy he's getting better at that, kind of doing choruses. Like he wasn't that great at choruses earlier in his career, but he's been getting better at that. I think that's a straight up.
That one just has more energy to it because it's a Mustard produced one, I think.
Nameless is a skit. When Sparks Fly is a huge stand. That's one of my favorite Vince songs, and that's like my top 15 Vince songs. Just the whole play on how the whole song is about a girl, but also about his gun. You can like the whole thing is a double entendre. The beat is crazy. It's a weird beat for Vince, but I like it. Like it's kind of a spacey, almost like a TikTok-y. You're a TikTok influencer singing on this one.
Yeah, it was really like.
But it's a huge standout to me. I really love this song.
Low key R&B. But it just sounded so loungy to me that I was just like.
It's kind of the point.
It just sounded
for
like nothing
these,
to me.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I think it's just a mindset of getting into it. Maybe.
I think
like if you go for a long night drive.
It's because today I went for a run around the block.
Yeah. Listening to this album. That's not the vibe.
And none of it even penetrated.
It's got to be like at night.
None of it penetrated my brain whatsoever.
It's got to be at night and shit. East Point Prayer, talk about that one's kind of boring. Slide is okay. Paper Cuts I don't mind. Not bad one.
Is it better than the MGK song Paper Cuts?
Yes. At least 10 times better. I'm high as fuck. Hello world. Suck my nuts. Lemonade with Ty Dolla $ign. To me that's a great song as well. It's really poppy, but Ty Dolla $ign does his thing.
He actually kind of slides on that.
Yeah, he's like a good singer on that one. Like I'm down for more poppy Vince if he like really gets into his bag. Great summer tune. I'm gonna blast that at the beach for sure. Player Ways is a great one. I love Mama's Boy. I love Bang That. Another Mustard one. That's a solid 3-run track right there. Rose Street is okay. It's a little too short though. It doesn't really, too short to kind of make too much of an impact. And I love the intro and outro, the beach and the blues. The blues being like money made me numb. Money made me numb, which is kind of, you can hear it. Like, and we talked about this with the self-titled one. Like how I was saying the last album, he sounds tired about this whole lifestyle and the violence and his upbringing and shit. He sounds tired of this shit. And this one, it's kind of more of the same, but also how he's numb, a little more numb now because he's making these. It's kind of, you can kind of interpret the album almost as like him making a poppier album, but at the cost of his humanity and at the cost of like, being numb. And he's trying to like be a rapper and trying to do all this shit, getting features from Little Baby, but also it's not really who he is, and he's still haunted by his past, and you can't quite be that. I think you can argue that. I don't think that was an intention. But there could be something there.
You definitely said a lot there. That's definitely the feel of Vince Staples. Like, that's one thing that if I had to say some positive things, like, the movie or the album does develop certain themes about, like, heartbreak, and because it's wrote apart.
Yeah, a lot of heartbreak.
But kind of this metaphor about your hometown and where you came from, and you have this love for it. But it's also kind of and then that kind of relating that to the tragedy of like a romance that can't ever be or whatever. Mm-hmm. And kind of some of his romantic, like that one, the one Sparks Fly one being sort of a, like, I feel like those themes were developed there. Like, I appreciate the writing themes, and the subtleties to it, but
the music just didn't really do it for you at the end of the day.
I don't have. It's just my attention span at this current moment. it didn't.
Yeah, I
didn't
hope
feel
that
it,
at some point it does connect with you, because I think for me, like
maybe upon more listens.
To me, it's like top 5 of the year, personally. But I mean, it's early in the year. But yeah, just give it a few more listens, and I'm gonna blast it in the summer because I think it's a good summer album. But also kind of an anti-summer album, just like Self-Titled was, because he talks about how much the summer kind of sucks, but over these kind of summery type of good timey beats, like it's an interesting contrast. But a lot of the things that I have to say about this album also kind of correlate to Self-Titled, so I don't want to get too into it.
I think there's a lot of reasons for like why when you give an album a spin, it just doesn't feel like
many times.
And I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of the more standout tracks came from midway or near the end of the album. Also being, I mean, like Magic is like one of the best songs on it, but that's the one that I've already been listening to for a long time.
Yeah, single. And that was the only single on here. I guess Rose Street came out like a few days, I think, before. But
yeah, I didn't really do my due diligence with this for this review.
Well, you give your first impressions, which is all we really do in a way, because we have to cover this music within like a week or two usually, so we can't really. I kind of want to give Kendrick, because Kendrick is dropping, which we didn't talk about either. That's a huge thing, May 13th.
Yeah, we have to have a whole year of listening to Kendrick,
and then we review it. Yeah, I think we at least wait like 2 weeks for that one, and then
I saw some pretty funny viral tweets after his. So Kendrick Lamar announced his new album, Mr. Morales and the
Mr. Morale, I think.
Mr.
Morales is Miles Morales, the Spider-Man.
Yeah, Miles Morales and the
Spidey in the Spidey senses. I don't know. But Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Sidebar: Spider-Man reboot starring Post Malone.
I'm gonna back out of this sidebar, Josh.
What? And Sway Lee guest stars as
Sway Lee is Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Actually, we're just singing the whole time.
Maybe Post Malone was more like he should play Kingpin or like one of the.
Yeah, I could see that, him kind of being a
villain character, maybe.
And yeah, more importantly, Post Malone is dropping June 3rd. So
this is when all the broads are posting Post Malone.
Yep.
So this is June. June
3rd.
Kendrick will have already decimated the game with his.
Probably. Well, hold on. Jack Harlow's coming the week before, so we can't quite give it to Kendrick yet, Alex. Come on. Give him the time.
Jack Harlow's album that leads to a revolution.
And Kendrick scraps his whole album. We have to wait another 5 years for it.
Girls that think Jack Harlow's cute, actually, they occupy the White House, and they demand that Jack Harlow be the new president. He does, and he orders all the other rappers executed so that he can be the flyest white boy in the game. God.
They kill us because we're talking trash on the podcast.
I would love to be guillotined under a Harlow administration.
That's a quote. That's a SuperFinger tweet right there. If I've ever seen that.
With an iron fist, that military dictatorship.
Yeah.
But so what's the Kendrick album called again?
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
The Big Steppers. Okay,
There's been a few theories flying around about that.
Let's go, people.
Someone says the Big Steppers is like the rest of Black Hippie and TDE, and there's going to be a bunch of like those guys on it because it's his last TDE album. I think there's going to be at least one collab, whether it be a remix.
Absol doesn't show up. I'm
riding. There you go.
Jinx.
I feel
Jinx, suck my dick.
I feel like
Jinx.
Well, first of all,
Infinity Jinx.
First of all, it's crazy because The Smile, which is Tom York and Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead, are dropping their album, their debut album, the same day.
So you're saying they're going to outsell Kendrick?
No, I'm saying that
Radiohead is throwing shots.
I'm having a dilemma between the two.
The next big beef, Kendrick versus Tom York.
But I feel like the title of it for some reason, it gives me Sgt. Pepper vibes. Like this is gonna be like a complete, like there's like how in Sgt. Pepper's the Beatles sort of like took on another like persona. You know what I mean?
I think it definitely it gives off the theme of being like themed. Like I feel like this might be a little concept album maybe.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like this could be like that where it's just like a complete left turn or like a complete like departure.
I think the Big Steppers
sounds funk to me.
The Big Step is going to be a new dance move that will take over.
Yeah.
It will just be one big step.
It's the whole TikTok. The whole album is TikTok dance music with Baby Keem. If it's a Baby Keem x Kendrick album, people are gonna lose their. People are gonna kill.
He's got to be on at least one song.
Yeah, Baby Keem's a feature.
It should not be a Baby Keem. It should not be a Melodic Blue type album.
Not at all.
He's way too.
I'm alright with like one song like that, but I think there are gonna be some features, but minimal. Maybe a little bit more than Damn, because Damn just had Bono and Rihanna. I think.
Man.
I think maybe a Thundercat feature if it's going to be more of a funk direction with a lot of instruments. I could see Thundercat making an appearance on another Kendrick album. That would be crazy.
That would be I could see
that.
We're talking wet dreams here.
Yeah, I think maybe a few TDE members get on there.
What if him and J. Cole and Drake and Kanye West and Jay-Z and Pusha T?
I saw it through like that. Like, oh man, I really want to see J. Cole and Drake on a Kendrick album. I'm like, I don't. I really don't. Because Kendrick is just going to body both of them, and it's not even going to be
I don't want to
see
Drake on a Kendrick album. That would
Cole maybe.
Actually, he was on Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah, but that song wasn't even
Poetic Justice.
Like, it's a good song, but like I
don't
think it aged that well, and I think it's one of the weaker ones.
I don't think it fits into the album as well. But it's not.
It's still a great verse. Yeah, I still bump it. It's a great Kendrick verse as well. The chorus is pretty good, but Drake is it's alright.
Yo, big ass in that sundress. Woo, woo. What you doing that walk for? I wish that we would talk less and we would suck more.
Suck cock more.
Yeah, I wish that you would suck cock more. That's the thing he said, right?
Yeah. Give me great head like Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, we should have a segment where we're both getting a head from different people and we're reviewing it live.
All right, so what's your... what's yours doing?
First impressions, you're going too fast, honey.
First impressions, you're hurting my cock.
Yeah.
Cut it out. My foreskin tight, bitch.
First impressions, I just got a circumcision.
First impression, I came.
New Pusha T album. I just got circumcised. I got so much coke in my eyes.
Head is 8 out of 10. 8 point. Light 8. It's a light 8.
Yeah.
Anthony Fantano scale, light 8.
Okay. Trying to find the thread of this conversation. New Kendrick Lamar. Oh, I love the tweets where it was like, white people hear about new Kendrick Lamar and they start doing the robot. You know?
Yeah.
White people hear about new Kendrick Lamar and they say, oh, for Pete's sake.
Oh, hot darn.
Yeah.
Jiminy Crickets.
Diddly
Yeah. I'm talking like Ned Flanders when I hear new Kendrick drops. Oh, diddly damn.
Yeah. Fucking Jason Sudeikis and Ned Flanders having sex. Who
would you rather get head from? Jason Sudeikis as Ted Lasso or
comment below.
Are we trying to get into Push or are we doing some other Lucy's here?
Yeah. If you have any other Lucy's, actually.
We got a few songs. We talked about Logic already. I listened to the 504 album. Did you listen to? Did you take?
I gave it one gander.
I've given it like maybe 2 or 3 at this point. Or I listened to it all the way through the one time, and then there were obvious standouts to me and obvious ones that I didn't like, so I got rid of those ones immediately. And I've listened to my 6 or 7 songs that I like on it a few times.
It's not that bad. I thought it was pretty clever.
Yeah,
I kind of like he does this like. It's hard to describe how he like rolls his R's kind of in a weird way where he's like...
Yeah, he has an interesting flow. Yeah, it's an interesting flow. He goes hard on some of the tracks, but to me it just kind of... A lot of it is samey though. Like a lot of the production is samey, a lot of the flow is kind of samey. But it is...
This is my first 504 and thing, so it's hard to call it samey because I don't really know.
Well, in terms of just the singular album experience, I kind of was getting bored because I'm like, okay, this one sounds like the other one. Like,
I like the Through the Fire song.
That's a great one with him and Quavo.
Kind of had more
Dragon Force.
Oh, there you go.
The Fire and Flames.
I like the one with Coi Leray and Queen Naija, actually. I do actually enjoy that one.
Surprisingly, that one was pretty dope.
Like, I do kind of like some of his, drill pop kind of... There's a little bit of a drill pop, like drill but a little bit poppier, which I kind of fuck with. Just because it makes for a little bit more...
That's the thing that's kind of unique about it.
Yeah, it gives it a little bit more varied production-wise. I like the intro with KC, City of Gods, obviously. I like the one with Lil Yachty a lot as well.
Another umlaut is popping up in music now.
Yep.
Chloe.
Yep. I think she's the... Is that the Haley and
Chloe
duo
or something?
Yeah, I think it's the Chloe and Haley duo. They're like R&B singers.
Yeah, I've seen that one video that they have on the rap channels, and
yeah, Lil Yachty one is good. ASAP one is good, but it's kind of short. And the rest are okay. A few other good ones, but
I don't think I made it all the way through.
That's fair. Yeah, the last bit is pretty.
It was one lunch that I threw it on. Yeah. Let's just get into Pusha T.
All right.
So yeah,
I'm gonna get a beer for this one, boys.
Get me one too. And
I'm gonna shake it up.
No funny business.
But that was pretty funny though.
You ordered Diet Coke. That's a Coke, right?
That's a cock, right? Or that's not what I don't think that's the line, guys.
Diet Cock. They should have that for guys that don't want to go all the way.
I'm not mad at that.
Let's start this Pusha T review with some laughter.
I already forgot what it is. Josh got it. I think Josh got it. That's not too bad. Yeah, I think, yeah.
So,
I forget how it goes.
Pusha T is on his villain shit.
He's literally, you just see the whole article that came out where, like, Pusha T says, like, you're the Joker. And Pusha T's like, what are you talking about? And then he shows them the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. And then Pusha T's like, you're right. I am the Joker. And then he started adding all these the Joker laugh into it and shit. And, like, they just fully went with it. I'm like, man, Pusha T being the Joker is so... Because that's a huge thing online that people make fun of. Just like, you know, what are you, the fucking Joker type of... That whole kind of incel white guy shit. But Pusha T somehow identifies with him so much.
The Joker as a character in pop culture that, like, won't fucking ever go away and people will continue to...
I think, the Joker overall as a character I can see, but the fact that he was referencing directly the one from the Joaquin Phoenix movie, it's like, oh, that's an interesting choice, I suppose.
So yeah, I'm a really big Pusha T fan. My Name Is My Name is one of the ones that got me into rap.
Crazy.
That one has, you know, I would consider Nostalgia with him and Kendrick to be one of the top songs of the whole decade.
Okay.
Of the 2010s decade.
I'm not mad at that. I think it's top 5 push songs for me.
There was a breakdown that went viral of Kendrick's verse on that song. Did
we talk about that already?
No, I don't think so.
Where it was like the whole like numbers.
I think that's the Dissect podcast guys are out there doing kind of breakdowns where they go into specific lyrics.
They have one for the Push one too.
About
that one line about Kanye. That one Kanye.
Yeah, I mean everyone knows the joke about yay, but yay also is yayo, which is a slang term for cocaine.
Or how it's like he says get money, like yay sampling, because he always does like the 3 his sampling voice shit. Get money as a reference to a track on Graduation or some shit, and the whole there's levels to it. There's layers, as Push would say.
So we put out My Name Is My Name, then,
which to me that was the first Push album I listened to. And I don't really go back to it. That I liked it originally, but I think there's some things that aged it. But there are some great... King Push is another great one. There's some great tracks on there.
Starts off with those drums, and then Numbers on the Boards is a big hit.
That's a classic.
There are some duds. Like I don't really like the Future song or the one with Kelly Rowland.
Yeah, there's some of the kind of poppier ones that kind of age it to me a little bit. But that was one of his first albums.
The Pharrell produced one at the outro is pretty great.
Snitch? Is that one? Snitch? Yeah, that was pretty good.
Then there was Darkest Before Dawn.
I think there was one other one, I think. We can probably look it up on Spotify or Apple Music in terms of his discog.
Push of the T.
Pusher T, as Steve Harvey would say. Remember when they started beef? Pusher T cannot fuck with me.
And the crowd was
going crazy.
No, it was 2015. King Push, Darkest Before Dawn, The Prelude, which we never got. Darkest Before Dawn. That project has some really good ones. Untouchable.
Yeah, that one's an insane.
Crutches, Crosses, Caskets.
I like the one with it was like Rocky and Kanye on it. It was produced
Money,
by like
Pussy,
J. Cole
Alcohol.
or something. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, we could just name all the songs on it, but
I didn't listen to the whole thing actually, so I can't do that. But
and then a couple of years of not really.
Much.
He kind of ducks out for 3 years and then comes back with Daytona.
Pusha T takes his time, but I respect him for that. Like I don't need a whole lot of Pusha T either, because whenever he comes back, even if it's a short project,
real quick,
it's good.
Summer of 2018, Ye put out, or like Ye produced
Surgical Summer.
The Surgical Summer. It was Ye,
Push,
Kids See Ghosts, Daytona.
Tiana Taylor, I think, dropped as
I never
well.
really listened to Tiana Taylor or Nas's album.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, me neither.
But Daytona was probably the best.
Yeah.
People, especially like Anthony Fantano and those types of people will say that Kids See Ghosts is like the best Kanye album in a long time. They only say that because it was one where he was being more relatable. I like the more unrelatable.
Well, I think
Kanye.
Also just his singing is really good on that too, and like it's a very cohesive, like it's very.
It's more. It checks the boxes of a.
And to me, I think
well-reviewed project, but it's not. It's not my personal favorite. Right. I like the actual Ye one.
No, I
as well.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ye, but in terms of Daytona versus Kids See Ghosts, Daytona was probably a better project, but I just prefer the sound of Kids See Ghosts a little more, but I'm a bigger Kanye fan than I am Push. Like, I'm not a huge Pusha T fan. Like, I am a pretty big one, but I wouldn't call myself like the biggest. I've only listened to My Name Is My Name, Daytona, and It's Almost Dry. I listened to a few Clip songs, and I fuck with a few of them, but lost my train of thought.
Oddly enough, the song with Pusha T on the Kids See Ghost album, I don't really like that much. Feel the Love, the first one.
Yeah, that one doesn't blow my mind. I wouldn't say I don't like it. I think it's still listenable, but yeah.
I'm just not the biggest Kid Cudi fan, really, to be honest.
You've stated, as you've stated. I kind of pity him a little bit, so because he's always getting shit on online, so I'm always like, hey man.
Every guy.
Even though I'm not really a Kid Cudi fan either. I don't know why I'm
There's a personality called Kid Cudi Defender.
Yeah.
Who I would probably butt heads with. But, you know.
Let's get into the Push project. I think is the best play for us right now.
If you know, you know.
Oh.
Yeah. Daytona's crazy.
Yeah, we don't have to talk. It's a
Pusha T. It's almost dry. I would say high art. Okay. The production is crazy.
Production on pretty much every song, aside from like maybe one.
Hype as fuck. There's
crazy Pharrell and Kanye.
Moments.
That's like exactly who you would want to produce a whole Pusha T project. Well, I wouldn't say it's as cohesive because of that, because it jumps from Pharrell to Kanye beats, which have different sounds to them.
But
like Daytona is more cohesive because it's
exactly which ones are because there was a couple of them that kind of fooled me.
A few of them, yes, but for the most part, I was probably 70% right about the beats,
but
maybe 80.
I think it all flows. I think it all flows together pretty good.
I think because Pharrell has the trademark 3 on the intro. He does the 1, 2, 3, and then comes in.
Yeah.
For the most part, it does flow pretty well, all things considered. It might not be as cohesive as
one
Daytona,
thing I learned from watching interviews is that, like, the way he produced the album was, you know, flying back and forth between Miami and LA, and like going to Ye and showing him some of the songs that Pharrell was doing, like to kind of
match it almost,
just to kind of like get the competitive going between the two of them.
Yeah, fuck with that.
So that way he kind of plays off two like genius producer rappers to kind of get like the
best out of each other.
Yeah. And apparently one thing that he was saying is that like Pharrell was like a lot more challenging of a person to work with because if he had very specific ideas and like they had more arguments about how they wanted the song to turn out, whereas Kanye is more a little bit easier to work with.
Because I think in that interview he was saying like Kanye makes the best like Pusha T beats, like beats perfect for Pusha, while Pharrell is a little more challenging. Like
Pharrell's
Kanye has it down to a science to this point
to get to some different pockets.
Yeah, which I really respect because at first I think I preferred the Pharrell beats over the Kanye ones because it was a little bit different.
Me too.
I'm not as used to it. But the more I've listened to the project, the more I'm like, some of these Kanye beats are insane though. Like Dreamin' of the Past is like one of the maybe beat of the year. Like it's an insane beat.
Yeah,
great song. Maybe a definite highlight for me.
The lyricism are amazing. I like it's like he doesn't overdo it with the lyric. Like I was thinking about how I hold the Griselda guys to such a high standard because of how verbose they are and how like the big words and complicated sentences that they get off in these bars. But Pusha T is much more like simple,
straightforward. Yeah,
more straightforward. but still hits really hard, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like there's a lot of shit on here where like it's not
it's
a new
it's
thing.
The delivery
like,
as well.
Because I think I've been saying it for years. I think Pusha T has one of the best like just voices in hip hop. Like it's a like the whole yuck and just this like this, the deepness of his voice, and I think it's just perfect. There's a lot of songs on here that are kind of simple in a way, or have like more minimalist feels to them, and like the flow is kind of like not repetitive, but like kind of samey a little bit. But that's a good thing for a lot of the songs, though. It's perfect. Push just rides it perfectly and like executes it so well.
It's like it gives you the space for him to pay attention to his more poetic bars, where there's just meaning that you can dive into. Opening track, Brambleton.
Great opener. Sets the tone for the album.
Kind of what I was talking about earlier about how you can have perspective on your career and your upbringing without saying everything that you're ever going to say over. Kind of gets into some personal stuff about how his old manager went on like Vlad TV.
And kind of not ratted on him, but like kind of just said a lot of shit that was
said that like everything they said was based off of him and all this kind of trying to discredit his whole image. Lots of like specific references to Virginia and his old days of when he was like still balancing the trap life, the street life, and the.
I like the bar, Blackberry White Hood, make it a race thing. I like the multiple meanings behind that. He's driving through a white hood kind of thing, or it has a white hood like KKK type shit. Like there's different layers to that one. And we get a rare, on this song and a bunch of other songs on here actually, a third verse, which you don't really hear a lot in rap, of like the same rapper doing 3 verses in a song, even if some of them are like shorter.
Yeah.
Like you don't really hear that much, and I appreciate a lot of that. A lot of the songs on here have 3 verses from Push.
How would you describe these Pharrell beats of like, I think the majority of them, I was hearing, I've had the term 808s explained to me so many times what it actually means. Right. And I've never really internalized what it means.
Producer corner with...
But maybe if
you want me to get it started, because I will go on.
Well, just explain the basics of what 808s.
I mean, 808s are like the 808 was originally a drum machine that had like this low bass like hit. Like it's kind of like a kick, a mix between a kick and like a bass. Like when you hit a bass guitar, you know what I mean. You know what a bass guitar is. Well, the history of a bass guitar.
Oh God, we're trapped here for 45 minutes.
Yeah. We just quietly let him just. Yeah.
Anyway,
just turn down the mic.
I think I've absorbed what the.
It's like the beat, like the bass. Like
you know what I'm talking about, though. When you hear these tracks, you know that Pharrell's relying on the 808 more and doing these kind of more bouncy kind of.
I would describe it as. Alien hipster trap. That's a good thrill to me. Like it's just kind of like it's weird, but it's still straightforward, but it's weird. Like it sounds like it's not really from the earth, but also it makes sense, and it is.
I mean, Pharrell's not really from the earth.
That's true.
The Neptune's producing has a feel where this could have come out in 2006 or something,
but also is still relevant.
But also sounds new.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they ride that line.
Yeah, kind of it's interesting. That's kind of the debate that will be had about this album is like, oh, have you listened to only the Ye tracks versus only the Pharrell tracks?
Yeah. I saw someone on Reddit the other day being like, I haven't listened to the Push album. Should I listen to it split up with the Pharrell and Ye thing separately, or should I listen to the whole thing front to back? And I'm like, well, listen to how it was intended to be listened to from the artist. Listen to it front to back, man. Like, I don't understand that, really.
Well, if you want to fully appreciate it...
Maybe if they're not a Pharrell fan, then they'll just do Kanye, sure, whatever, but I don't know.
Then why are they asking the question?
I know.
Here's the other thing that I was going to say. Let the Smokers Shine the Coops track 2 sounded like... I thought it was a Kanye verse.
Yeah, that one was a little tougher to
Kanye
get.
Beat. Because it sounded to me reminiscent of, like... Life of Pablo era Kanye songs. Like this one could have,
but it doesn't have the sample though, which is
it reminded me of the song Facts with the Charlie Heat. But that was actually a Charlie Heat produced thing.
I can see that comparison.
It's just got this really hype mid 2010s good music.
Yeah, I think if Dreaming of the Past is the best Kanye produced beat on here, I think this one is the best Pharrell beat on here. It's a crazy one. I love the Cocaine's Dr. Seuss. The chorus on here is great. That's all I really have written for this. Like, I just love it. Like, it's great, and I don't have any problems with it. And I don't think there's any... I think lyrically, Push doesn't really stand out to me as much. Like, I fuck with what he's saying, and it's, like, cool, and it's, like, a lot of the time, it's, like, not shit I even know about. It's, like, some fancy car or some, like, dish from France you can only get in France. Like, I don't really know what he's saying
it's
a lot of the time.
Luxury Coke rap.
Yeah, it's luxury shit, so I don't relate to that as much. Or it doesn't really, like...
Just the way he talks about it.
It doesn't really give me a lot to look into, even though I guess that's kind of a hypocrite of me saying that, because I'm like, well, I just said I don't know what it is, so I could just look into it, but I don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't... What does that even mean, let the smokers shine the coops, you know?
Well, I looked at that one on Genius particularly because I was like, yeah, what does this mean? And someone was like, being like the smokers, like the people that are killing people in... people with guns and shit in Pusha T's like crew, they're the one they're also shining the coop, like they're also getting him the money and shit like that kind of thing. Like
right.
But that's just some genius. Anyone can edit Genius. Who fucking knows if that's the real intention behind it?
I was thinking more. It's like I made all this money. I accept the world's making money is evil. So I'm having these fiends. They're
gonna do their dirty work.
We're making money off them, and they're shining up my car, my fancy car and stuff.
That's not a bad one.
But it's also the coop thing is because he has all these lyrics about chickens and like
coming home to roost, all that shit. There was the one about like
he says I'm Jim Purdue, who is the
poultry king of the South.
Which I thought I got that reference. I thought it was Jim Purdue. I thought Purdue was the like pharmaceutical company, like it was making like a drug reference or something, but it's one of these other gigantic companies that owns every single thing. I'm Cocaine's Dr. Seuss.
That's a perfect.
Like he just puts so much.
His delivery on the whole album for the most part is crazy.
He has a thing. Bird feathers made me the chief. I like that. That's the bird, because it's kind of continuing with the chicken imagery.
You're a fiend for the chicken imagery. It's because your love of Popeyes, Alex. It's getting to your head. The grease. the grease is built up in your brain.
Here's another edit for you where like there's a fucking floating chicken tender in front of me.
Come on, bro. What do you want me to do? Actually, shit doesn't seem maybe that hard, but
I'm just giving you assignments at this point.
Fuck that. Well, I'll give you assignments, I guess, on the doc. So listen to
Track
this
3
shit music that I give you.
Here's the thing, there's not that many tracks, so we can get granular with this shit.
And 3 of them we've already talked about on this podcast.
Whoo, boy. Probably one of the best standout songs of the whole year so far.
Yeah, it's up there. I'm very surprised in a good way about Push's, like, kind of, on the chorus, kind of singing, like, more singing inflection. Yeah, sure, it's auto-tuned, but, like, the hook is really... I love the hook.
It's a simple hook, but it doesn't...
just because usually I'm not used to Push reaching those levels of kind of trying to sing almost a little bit, or like really expressing his voice. I'm very used to a low register Push voice, so I'm glad he's kind of expanding a little bit.
I mean he's capable of doing the hook on the song as well. He doesn't need to get some guest person to do the hook. But another example of Kanye pulling some sample out of
the thin air,
1972. A cover of Jealous Guy by John Lennon by some guy named Donny Hathaway. This is one Josh should probably listen to because he loves jazz.
Okay. More homework for Josh now. You're just assigning everyone homework, bro.
It's just crazy how he flips the sample. It's so... He gets those pianos in there and...
Push rides it perfectly.
I saw the performance of it he did on Jimmy Fallon, and it was cool to see the Roots... and everybody doing like live instrumentation over it. Kind of reminiscing on his past kind of thing.
What do you think of the Third Eye Blind bar?
That was awesome. Yeah,
Third Eye Blind getting the shout. So you like the Third Eye Blind bar, but not the ZZ Top bar. Interesting, where you pick and choose the rock legends that you fuck with.
Get better with time. Didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Just a better design. Out of his mind, he's out of his prime. Rockstar, Third Eye Blind. I was bored by these albums, so it gotta be time. Yeah, I also like that. I like that idea of like jumping back in the game because you feel that the game needs some injection of some new life.
Yeah, because I think that's what he said. Like I was reading something as well that he said like, yeah, this whole thing was made in a time where this, everyone's inside and shit. And I was just feeling like, man, like people need something in hip hop right now to really fucking shake the shit. Like, and I'm like, that's fair.
I'll be honest though, Kanye's verse is a little lackluster.
It feels like it's just kind of tacked on, just because it's so short.
I feel like he did the verse just so he could flex about. I used to want the Fresh Prince house, and then I looked at it and I saw I don't like the way the kitchen's designed, so I'm not gonna buy it. And
more like did you have some divorce bars on here? Or was that the other one? Maybe it was the other one. But yeah, it just feels kind of like... When
Daddy's home, the family's in danger. Yeah, so he is kind of talking
and
about...
also like his
family falling apart.
His inflection on his voice. Like I kind of like how he sounds, but it also kind of sounds like he's kind of bored and it was kind of done like last minute.
Yeah, it sounds like a Vince Staples verse.
Yeah, okay. And it's like, it's a short-ass verse, so yeah, it feels kind of tacked on to me, but...
But I mean, he produced the track. Though. Apparently, this is another one. Yeah. Push had to beg for this song not to be on the Donda.
Oh yeah, okay. So there was another one that was supposed to be on the Donda album, which we'll get to.
Big standout right there.
Yeah, Neck and Wrist we talked about, but that's another great one. Jay-Z coming with. It's between two for me in terms of the best feature on the album. Jay-Z is one of them. I'll get into the other one later.
That's one of the ones where Pharrell has more of a.
He's a hook too there.
Like, yeah, more to do with it.
Yeah, but yeah, great inflections by both of them. Great verses. Everyone.
Just so you remember, that's one that reminded me of Kids See Ghost, kind of.
Yeah, because the very minimalist, like kind of haunting almost production in the background, just letting Push really do his thing.
I really love the sample of some obscure song from the 70s that I don't know
another one
about.
Yeah, but it has that being the chorus. Yeah, that one you for sure can tell is another Kanye beat. I'm surprised there.
That's one of the giving Pusha the space to, brick by brick we kept open dealerships. Mitch by Mitch we built up our villages.
What does that mean? Mitch by Mitch? What the fuck?
There's like guys named Mitch.
They're white, like Coke. Is that the Coke thing?
I don't know.
I just assume it's all kind of Coke bars at the end of the day. Like, if I don't understand it, I'm like, I'll do crack cocaine, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, imagine flying out someone's bitch to Cuba.
Yeah, just to show you what you should have done.
And then not even being there.
Yeah. He has another one on here. I don't know which track it's on, but he was like hiding the coke in your little sister or some shit. Where he's like, "Bro, what are you like? He is on Joker shit. He's like a villain.
Yeah.
Like he's
not afraid to get a little bit evil.
Yeah,
on the track.
Yeah. And I like that. I think he plays that character well. That's all I got for that one.
Just looking at some.
I didn't go too heavy into the lyrics in this one.
That's one where he just does. He sticks on a specific rhyme pattern, and it's a shorter track where he kind of just. Yeah, that's where he starts to develop this sort of Joker motif, and he starts doing the
yeah. Diet Coke we talked about as well at length at this point probably.
Just like super catchy.
Another standout, yeah. Kanye beat, very good. Okay, I have a few notes on...
One more Kanye beat before a bit of a Push break, or Pharrell break. Rock and roll. First of all, stealing our whole rock and roll. Well, yeah,
I was gonna say Rock and Roll Baby song. Check that out in the link below. Please don't call the cops. Coming sooner than you think. That's what I'll say. Even though I've been saying that for probably a year on this pod. But now that I'm pretty much done work.
And please don't call the gods my gospel album.
Companion album where he flips all the songs and make it about Jesus.
And it's all a cappella.
Yeah, it's all clean. It's all clean too. Yeah, it's a whole clean Donda inspired album. But Rock and Roll, with Kanye and Cudi, supposedly the last ever Kanye and Cudi collaboration. Yeah, fucking right. That's not going to last at all. They've had beef before. They'll have beef again.
Have they beefed before?
Yeah, there was a whole thing where Kanye was on his manic shit on the Life of Pablo tour, and he was calling out Kid Cudi because, again, of some petty bullshit.
Yeah.
And then Cudi was saying like, "Oh, fuck Kanye" or some shit, and then they made up and they made Kids See Ghosts. So
these people, they're artists. They're sensitive. They can always just get back together again.
Yeah, whatever.
I saw a great tweet with it, which is just like, Kid Cudi announces he will not be making music with Kanye anymore. Kid Cudi announces he will not be making music worth listening to anymore. It's a good one. Shout out that guy.
The sample on this, that Beyonce sample, to me, like the beat itself doesn't sound like it, but that sample, ironically, is I could hear Drake. I could hear Drake going on this, not on this beat necessarily, but that's
Tuscan
kind of
Leather or like one of the classic Kanye or Drake beats where he sings over the pitched up,
chipmunky
speed
vocal
up chipmunk
shit.
vocals. Yeah, pretty cool beat.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, it's a better Kanye verse. I like the Mario bar that he had, the push Mario bar, getting coins as I'm breaking down the brick, make the jump to each level. Super Mario exists. I like also that implication that Super Mario is real. I'm like, oh, cool. That opens doors for Sonic the Hedgehog being real, which I'm
Open
all
up
for.
your eyes, Super Mario is real.
That's an insane Clown Posse bar, I think. I
sold Super Mario cocaine in 1985. You wonder how he was able to jump so high?
Yeah.
Shit.
Look who's talking there.
I was out there.
And this is the one he does compare himself to. He mentions Arthur Fleck by name, which is the character of the Joker in the.
Shout out Joaquin Phoenix.
Kanye's verse is pretty good. I'm getting almost tired of the divorce bars though. Like I'm just like, is that all he's gonna rap about now? Like I guess Donda 2 kind of takes that away, but I feel like a lot of those songs are almost kind of scrapped Donda songs and ideas. I'm just like, how much more can you talk about that divorce? And like, I'm kind of just sick of hearing about it. That's just a personal thing, though. I don't know. Not a bad verse.
I agree that he's got to have a new angle on it, a fresh angle on it, because the point of your music is like, you should feel sorry for me that I'm in this bad situation. It's like, this song is only for Kim to listen to and feel bad.
I don't know. Yeah, who's it for, you know? Yeah. I guess if I was a divorced fucking dad, I'd be like, this shit fucking goes, man. But I'm not, so...
Roll the tape to the future when you get divorced. I feel like the album restarts again with the energy of Call My Bluff.
That's a great one.
Huge standout to me. I would say every now and again someone does the soft intimidation thing perfect, where it's like, everything don't need to be interesting. He's
like kind of doing a cutesy voice, but he's talking about some
it's a
really
little bit like
evil things. Like
it's like on some smiling clown type shit.
And the music video kind of suggests that as well.
The music video hammers down the sort of crime.
He's in a room full of just white old people, and he's just like fucking giving you the evil fucking faces, just like growling at the camera.
It would be quite unfortunate if there was something to happen to your family.
Drake.
Yeah, and there is one thing I screenshotted off of Genius is explanation of one of these fucking bars. The bar where he says, now everybody asking, what happened? They know. Apparently it's clips had a feature on a Birdman song called What Happened to That Boy. And they never got paid for it. So it's a long-standing...
the beef there,
long-standing origin of the Young Money versus Pusha T beef. Yeah. Which has morphed into the current day
Drake one.
So this is
interesting. Okay.
This is a specific, and also
very subtle
with him saying they know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a.
They know what happened to Drake. They know what I did.
No, but it's also a reference to Drake headlines. You know, they know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kind of clever. Shout out the person on Rap Genius who I just stole that content from.
On. Yeah, that's pretty slick.
But yeah, pulling up like an on time like an Amazon truck.
Yeah, FedEx truck. Okay, let's talk about this bar. Sometimes I wish my fan base was more like J. Cole's. How do you interpret that bar?
Yeah.
Is that a diss almost?
J. Cole's fan base will defend him
night and day.
To a T. And when KOD came out, it was panned a lot by critics, but was still like number one on all the like streaming and stuff like that. So the fans are really committed to J. Cole and will make excuses for him no matter what.
But do you think that's a little bit of a slight though, a little bit of a diss to Cole in a way?
But it's also about how when you're a coke rapper, your fan base views you more like you're an athlete who like has to continue like proving themselves as a lyricist and as like a competitive person, whereas J. Cole is a little bit more artsy, a little bit more backpack.
Yeah.
So I feel like he has a little bit more leeway to experiment with some things that people might not actually like.
Yeah,
in the end.
I can see that as well.
That's kind of how I picture it.
But to me, like, both Pusha T and J. Cole's fan bases are probably just all white guys like us. So it's not too. It probably isn't too that varied. Those fan bases.
I don't know. I think J. Cole's fan base is more white than Pusha T.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's because it's bigger as well, to an extent. Like Pusha's not doing cold.
I don't know if Pusha T I don't know if the Pusha T fan base is lacking in their loyalty or something like that.
I don't know. Yeah. He had a tweet as well. He was doing like some Q&A on Twitter, being like, I think it was something like, how do you feel about that? A lot of your fans are people just going to their 9-to-5 jobs and just singing your lyrics about coke and fucking gangster shit. And he was like, no, I like my fan base like that because they treat my music just like how I treat mafia movies. And I'm like, that's a pretty good analogy there.
I don't know. I could be way off with my assumptions about different fan bases and stuff like that.
Okay, every Pusha T fan and every J. Cole fan, comment below. I want to see at least 12,000 comments. And you got to prove your worth to us.
Yeah.
So, go smuggle coke in your little sister, okay?
Wow.
Maybe I'll cut that one. Anyway,
Pusha T says...
it was just a joke, Your Honor.
It was just a joke, right?
He says some stuff about, like tying up someone's wife and kids, you know?
With duct tape. Yeah.
Pretty great.
Yeah. Anything else with Call My Bluff?
Yeah.
Great one. It's a great one.
Just to give the J. Cole thing more context, like he says, sometimes I wish my fan base was more like J. Cole's, but Dope Boy's got to be the man, like they know.
He's calling J. Cole a sissy, not a man?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think maybe that...
Coke
rappers have to, because I kind of view it as like, if you're a Coke rapper, it's like you're an athlete who like used to be in the game of selling drugs.
And you have to kind of
still
convince people.
It's all about constantly convincing your reputation. Like, hey, look, I was real. You know, I'm really.
I just think it's kind of the lane that Push has carved for himself. Like maybe that's the same kind of thing with Griselda. I think that's just a style though. Like
are they judged by in a different way because they are who they are compared to like a J. Cole type? I don't know.
I'm sure there's some. I'm sure they feel that way.
It's an interesting question. Maybe sound.
I don't think that we would really know exactly. I love when we always say sound off in the comments, and no one sounds off in the comments. Just something to say.
That means like I don't really know, but it's a question that could be asked, but I can't come up with anything right now. Kind of exposing the fakes and the lames.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the other thing is we specialize in not getting locked up. Akon.
Yeah.
So that's another thing of because Akon, you know,
he got locked up, but it wasn't legit.
But he also and he put a song called "Locked Out" where he greatly exaggerated the time that he actually spent in prison.
Mm-hmm. The next song, "Scrape It Off," is the weakest one by kind of a mile. It doesn't sound like a Pusha T song. He's like barely on it.
I don't really like. Yeah,
I don't mind Pusha T's verse.
Part.
Don Toliver's good. Lil Uzi doesn't fit. Like it's not a bad verse. It just doesn't really make sense.
That one really felt like we're trying to make the young kids want to listen to this.
Yeah, it seems like more of a label Def Jam. It's just you gotta throw this one in here. But apparently this one was also supposed to be on Donda, so maybe Push begged for this one on here as well. I don't know why you would necessarily, but
there was a Kanye verse on this where he's just like, my family's falling apart and my wife's a fucking bitch. Pete Davidson can suck my motherfucking dick.
There you go.
Yeah. Hear Me Clearly. These fucking comedians.
Yeah, I've talked about Hear Me Clearly quite a bit as well. It's weird that it's on here,
How is it a Nigo song and a Kanye song?
It doesn't... I don't know. Like, it's a good Pusha T... he has a lot of quotables. Maybe the most quotables on the whole album here, but the beat isn't too... I've never been a huge fan of the beat. It's weird that it's on both albums to me. It doesn't really... Like, it's still a good song. It's just, it's weird that it's on Nigo and this one. I just took it off the Nigo album and put it on this one.
I'm just saying, who actually produced the song?
Pharrell. Nigo didn't produce, I don't think, anything.
No, Hear Me Clearly is one of the Ye ones.
I'm pretty sure it's a Pharrell.
You're wrong.
No? What's the Genius say?
I haven't.
It says Kanye.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's kind of a weak Kanye beat then. It's me.
The next one is a Pharrell beat.
Open Air. I'm not also crazy about this beat either. It kind of just sounds a little basic in terms of Pharrell standards. This track I'm not too crazy on either. Just, I don't know. It feels like they kind of just put another one in at the end there.
That one's...
It's a lot of Joker laughs.
Yeah.
Maybe too many. But it's alright. It's just about drug smuggling and on boats and planes and any various sorts of transportation, getting the coke across the borders and everything. I respect it for that case, but it's not my favorite on here.
He makes some. If you dive into the lyrics there, he makes some. He paints some drug dealer Picassos. Okay, y'all don't appreciate it. That's your weakness. Okay.
It's just not.
They keep asking me if Please Don't Call the Gods, the Buddy Alex Christian gospel album is ready. I'm saying it's almost dry.
It's almost dry.
Okay, but it's currently too wet.
It's too wet for consumption at this point.
That's my new album. It's currently too wet.
As a present.
My R&B romance album.
Yeah, it's too wet, baby.
I'm sorry, baby. It's too wet.
That should have been the Lucky Day album.
Yeah, honestly, good point. Last song, I Pray For You, also sounds like kind of a Donda track, just because the beat is very gospel-y, and Malice being almost a Christian rapper.
I thought it was a
extent.
standout moment.
It's a great outro. Malice, excuse me, has also one of the best features on here.
Yeah, surprisingly, you also see like how the two of them came up rapping together and they sound...
Yeah, they kind of go back into their past in terms, like, they both kind of like...
But also sonically they sound like...
Well, they are brothers.
You see where he gets the...
Yeah.
His cadence.
Like, I think on first listen, I'm like, where was the Malice feature? And I'm like, oh, that's Malice. They just sound very similar because they're brothers. But I love Pusha T. Yeah, his
Pusha T's kind of rising
last
from
part
the
of the
ashes
verse being
and
like how everything we're back into the duo type shit. Like how kind of.
I like his metaphor about the ankles and my sweat still elastic, still do gymnastics. If hoes forever young, then I'm a somersault backwards through these chapters. Talking about being swiftly maneuvering his way through the game and these challenges. Yeah.
And the No Malice shit being like all the shit that I've missed, all these fake drugs and emotions I don't feel and shit like that. Like kind of how he's in an interesting perspective because he still raps, but like he hasn't been in the game for a long time and just
he like found God and became like a Christian, like more so than Kanye West. Like he's legitimately found God.
Yeah, he's straight up. But he still can rap. He can still rap.
Yeah, and he goes on a crazy flow.
Yeah, great verse there. Great outro to a pretty great album. Only really the one miss to me would scrape it off. A few other ones that I'm not like too crazy about, but they're not bad songs by any means. Push does it again. Maybe not quite as good as Daytona, or maybe not quite as cohesive. But I like how it's more experimental to an extent. It's more like colorful. The Pharrell beats give it a good contrast to the Kanye ones. I think it does flow pretty well in those standards. And yeah,
one last thing on Pray For You is that the singing is dope. It's kind of
Labyrinth does a great job on the hook.
I thought it was like James Blake, but it's like it may as well have been.
Could be.
It sounded just like him. And No Malice has a whole thing about like Job. Well, he makes a reference to Job where
from Arrested Development, right? Job from Arrested Development.
No, from the Bible.
I haven't listened to that one yet. I'll get back to you.
The Book of Job just dropped. They just dropped the deluxe.
Book of Job deluxe coming out.
They added like the Lil Uzi Vert feature.
Oh, right. Yeah, that the one that got leaked a while ago. Yeah.
But like he manages to be like threatening, but also be like, "I've got the love of God in me," but that doesn't mean we're friends.
I'm gonna strike you down with it, though.
I'll still fucking bring fire and brimstone.
Still unleash the 7 plagues on you motherfuckers.
Shit. If God gives me the okay, I'm gonna show up with a gun tomorrow.
Damn.
How crazy would it be? The next terrorist attack happens on a Rapcast episode.
Oh.
A fucking truck comes dribbling through
somehow.
What?
Yeah. And it's fucking Watsky because we trash talked him the one time.
Yeah.
He gets convicted. But we do the Rapcast from our hospital beds. We still do one.
So yeah. What do you think about the cover?
I wish it was the Lana Del Rey picture. but I still think the cover's pretty dope. It's cool art style. I'm not really sure what you'd call it.
My homie Brad, shout out Brad, was hating on it.
I think it's pretty cool.
Saying, it looks like a fucking, grade 2 art project where they just put some rusted old...
But Slowburn has made literally covers of his songs in like MS Paint and shit. Like, I don't know, so...
Yeah, true.
No hate to Slowburn, but... Yeah, get your cover game up a bit and then trash talk pushes.
Well,
hit me up for cover game. I got you.
But like, compared to Daytona, what did you think about that cover? Because that one was all like...
That one has more cool history behind it.
Just because it's a picture of Whitney Houston's
still also,
bathroom.
like, they kind of give off the both similar vibes of just, like, kind of crazy, sporadic... Like, looking at it just visually...
Modern art.
There's a lot of, like, kind of weird colors and shapes and stuff.
That's what I was saying to Brad. Like, it's modern art. It's... The whole aesthetic is it's supposed to alienate you and make you feel like, what? Why is this something, like, really expensive? It's just... It looks stupid, but it's like, no, man.
It's different. Luxury. Yeah.
Yeah, it's... The whole point is that it costs money.
Yeah. All right,
art's not real, bro.
We spitting. And we about to spit. Alex...
Okay.
Pull up the beat.
Yeah.
Clearing some phlegm there, bud? You want some fucking Tylenol, bro?
A whole song of Pusha T clearing his throat.
Yeah. Y'all ain't ready.
I could do a whole album of just clearing my throat, and it would go triple platinum.
Cause I'm the fucking GOAT.
Okay. Don't
my
get too
coke
ahead
money,
of
I dug a fucking moat.
I'm the throat goat. Because I clear my throat.
Calling yourself the throat goat is that's some new wave luxury shit. I don't know.
She said she a throat goat. I said no, bro. You're a guy.
Whatever floats your boat, ho.
Yo, what? Yuck. I got cocaine in my pocket. Because I sell it. Selling cocaine on the streets. For money. Yuck.
I'm selling cocaine. Yeah, I fucking sell it. I'm at the fucking deli. Slicing shit up. I'm fucking dicing shit up.
Oh.
Clean it up. Take it up your nose like a Dyson, bruh.
That's pretty good, actually.
Dyson?
Yeah. I got more blow than Obama. I sold more blow than Yo Mama. Yo Mama's fat, like my wallet. I got so much cocaine. Yeah.
So much cocaine you could fucking call it. I'm fucking ballin', almost beat Alex in 21 today. Off topic. So much white like I'm in Hot Topic. Call these white bitches that are in Hot Topic. There's something there's something. That's so something in that one.
Has this ever gone right?
Okay. I got a paddock on my wrist. I got Birkin bags for your bitch.
Sound like E40 on the phone.
I got more blow than a guy that has tons of blow.
Okay, you were killing it with the freestyle earlier.
More white than Lana Del Rey.
Your white bitch eat me up like it's sorbet or
yeah, like it's that's not that bad.
Sorbet. I was thinking of a different food. What other food runs a sorbet?
I just called up Robert Eggers.
That's a tough. I don't know if you're rhyming with Eggers.
I got more white than Northman.
Okay.
Sidebar. Review of Anya Taylor-Joy's ass.
There's
lacking.
2 movies where we've seen Anya Taylor-Joy's ass. And both Robert Eggers movies.
Did you see he was on Mark Maron's What the Fuck podcast recently, and Mark Maron was like, so what makes you want to work with Anya Taylor-Joy so much? What's that like working with her and shit? And he was like, and the first thing he said was, well, we first shot The Witch when she just turned 18 the day we started shooting. And Mark Maron's like, hey, you don't have to be so defensive about it, man. Like, shit, I wasn't asking that. Like, so, all right, well, shit.
She was 18 when I didn't ask that question, bro.
I don't know. It sounds a little sus to me. While we're wrapping up here, shout out the Ab Soul song. He goes off the verses. The chorus is kind of just okay. Kind of sounds like a Brockhampton song.
Out of
long. It's been long.
He's been, I don't know,
he's been out of it.
I think he went on a pilgrimage to.
Well, because a lot of shit, Mac died, which was one of his best friends and shit, right? And then Doughburger, who was also one of his best friends, that's kind of a TDA affiliate guy. I'm not sure what he exactly did, but he also passed away recently. So he's been I don't really blame him. But coming back, it goes kind of hard, and not really what I expect from an Ab-Soul song, but it goes. Shout out the Boss EP, a few good summary tracks on that one. Don't really like the one with Gunna that much, though. That was the one we watched earlier. Also, don't really like the
kind of mid.
I don't really like the Rico Nasty song either. It's.
I like that one.
There's no flow. They can't seem to find a pocket. I don't know. It's all right as an energy track, but I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm gonna bump that one very much.
I thought it was okay.
Nothing really has wowed me from Rico since her last album. The new Future and Travis Scott track with Southside or whatever. Bad.
Sucks.
Bad. It's bad. Travis Scott coming back with this after the fucking Astro World incident.
You killed 9 people for this?
For mid music? If he was dropping good shit, I'd let it slide, but this is mid, Travis. I think he's performing for the first time next week. Performing for the first time since the shit. And I think he's going to be at fucking Lollapalooza.
This new song by Travis Scott, it's not a tragedy on the level of Astro World, but
it's a tragedy on my ears, okay?
Yeah. What it did to my ears, I'm suing for damages.
$3 million.
I'm taking this guy for all he's fucking got.
Damn.
Quick flex, I am going to the Leafs game tomorrow night.
Might be flying out to Calgary next week for a game.
I'll still be here.
Well, Josh will do his own podcast. He'll just sit there on the side
So
Smile album's coming out.
The history of the bass guitar.
The whole bass guitar.
It started out in 19...
자르줄 받아 욕하는 새끼를 재반조절로 비켜 십자가 받고 지랄하는 새끼가 너무나 많아서 이런 병실을 병실 불러서 나에게 다 be just like Jesus 집에서 놀다가 욕먹기 싫어서 피셔봐가는 난 이런 같이 살아도 모르는 사람은 수두룩 성질만 더러워서 맨날 이빨 으드득 이런 놈이 그러니 맞고 쓰는